So namaskar, all of you. Good morning. I'll begin with an invocation, a prayer, a Sanskrit verse to bring you all in, and then we can go into the journey. So this was an invocation to all the gods all the gods, their liking for music. You have all the seers, the gods. So music has always been something that goes beyond everything. And Dhrupad is an art music that was never for entertainment, it is never for entertainment. It is a worship. It is a process of both evolving and involving yourself in the sound, a journey into the realm of sound, into the unseen. They say, our Sanskrit texts say the unseen, the Adrishta. So it is seeking for self-realization. And I think that is what music should be. All musics of the world. We tend to deviate only for the sake of entertainment. And also we are very happy in our closed boxes, looking at the differences. But we never see where we are sharing. We are one. The sound. And my journey into Dhrupad has been very fulfilling in the sense that I really got the true answer what music is. Through my journey into Dhrupad. So I always say Dhrupad is not a genre. It is a complete system of why Indian music? I think the music. Because why Dhrupad is likened more in the West than other genres. The reason I have felt is the inherent classicism and the subtleties, all the nuances, the hidden sounds, the microtonal embellishments. You can explore yourself in multifarious ways. It's a beautiful journey. Because I also sing the other genres, but it has never given me that fulfillment. Because Dhrupad is complete. And Dhrupad is also the springboard of all the genres that you find in India today. Has emerged, is born out of Dhrupad. Whether it is singing or playing the instruments. You hear the sitar, you hear the sarod, you hear the rudravina. They all imbibe the system of Dhrupad. Now why I say it is a complete system, I'm just telling you a story because I don't want to go into the technicalities. It's a storytelling. So why I say it is a complete system, because when we talk of music, no matter whether it's India or Japan or Australia or Europe or Occidental or Oriental or Middle East, you have three main components. We say in Sanskrit the swara, the tala and the pada. In fact, when music was derived from the Samaveda, the derivative of Samaveda was the Gandharva, the Upaveda Gandharva. And Gandharva is actually the musical system that we have as early as 3000 years ago. And it gives us a complete system of Indian music comes from the Gandharva. So, Gandharvam Trividam Vidya Swaratala Padatmakam. It's a beautiful definition. What is Gandharva? It is this blending of the swara, the melody, tala, the rhythm, and pada, the song text. Now when they say pada, it is both meaningful and meaningless, because language is not important. What is important is the syllabic content in any music. So in the Indian tradition, you will notice that voice has always been at the center. even if you see in the Vedas. So chanting and singing is of prime importance. In the West it has shifted to instrumental. There was a time when voice was the prime, but then it shifted gradually and instrument plays a more important role. Than voice has come to the second priority. But in the Indian tradition, voice is the ultimate. And this has been beautifully explained in the ancient text. You see how they calculate the value of voice. It is a calculation. They say Pujat Koti Dhyana. What is Dhyana? Dhyana is 10 million puja worship is one meditation. Dhyanat Koti Japa. Japa, or the silent chanting of the mantra, is 10 million dhyanas put together. And Japat Koti Gana. Singing is equal to 10 million silent meditation. Silent japa, chanting. And Ganat Parat Param Nahi, nothing beyond singing. And that is why when Narada travels all over the universe with his veena, Vishnu says that he is my greatest bhakta, my devotee, because he sings for me all the time. So singing is something we all have to treasure. It is, I think, the best way to express everything that you want to nourish your soul, to nurture your soul, to purify your soul. So it is a process of cleaning, it is a process of self-development, it is everything. That's what I found the last 40 years. The more I am singing, the more I feel that there is so much to know, so much to do, and it is unending. The process is an unending process. And when you feel this, it becomes egoless. So this is what the Hindu philosophy teaches us, that you have to keep on experiencing, and not with the mind, with the heart. That is why the Upanishads say, Dhyatva Kuryat. When you do something, meditate and do. They don't say think and do. But today's world is only thinking. We have to create doubts. We have to create conflicts. We have to create differences to know ourselves why. The question is why. Differences are all right, analysis is good, but why can't we see where we are one? And this is what I learned from my journey into Dhrupad, that music is one. The universality of Dhrupad lies in the music itself, in the system itself. And it's a very rich system. I'm not going into much of the history, because history is not the ultimate. It's only just to understand ourselves. The music goes back to almost 500, 600 years. They say Raja Man Singh Tomar of Gwalior, he started the modern Dhrupad. Before that, we had the Prabandha Gana, which was sung in Sanskrit. You see, I just chanted a Sanskrit mantra. So this was how the Dhrupad was before. They were chanted in Sanskrit, and of course it had a very rich tradition, classical tradition, the Prabandha Gana. And the Prabandhas evolved from the Jati Gana, and the Jatis from the Samaveda. So it is, you see, I always say Indian music is very unhistorical. It's unlike the Western music. You have the Baroque, the classical, the romantic, the contemporary. Divided into historical periods, but our music is very unhistorical. We have a history, but there is a continuity. And there have been changes and different forms coming, but it is a continuous history. And to understand Indian music, you have to understand this continuity. The continuity and the tradition. And the tradition of parampara is very important because it is we have an oral tradition, nothing is written down. So you have to have this complete devotion to your guru, to your mentor, because the guru shows you the way. Not just the way of music, it's a way of life. I said the sound of life. It is not, because it is a very unique chemistry, the Guru Shishya Parampara. I was saying that yesterday, that it is not whether you are studying in an institution or whether you are studying in a Guru Shishya setup. It is this unique chemistry between the Guru and the Shishya. That makes you a musician. It's very unique. You can't just explain with a formal categorization. And we are all trying to do that. We think, well, Guru Shishya Parampara, so very good. Institution, very bad. No. It is this uniqueness of the relationship between the mentor and the disciple. That makes the music, that makes a musician, that makes a tradition, that makes the novelty, new creations. In fact, every good musician is creating every moment. At least in Indian music, even I don't know what is going to happen the next moment when I start to sing. Because I don't have a score, I don't have a notation. The same rag will sound very different, but still deeply rooted into that ecstasy, that system. We are never uprooted, we are never alienated from that. That carries us, that seed carries us into blossoming in a multifarious way. So this is the underlying philosophy. I can talk and talk about it. In fact, every concept needs at least a week of explanation. If I go into the aesthetics of sound, into ornamentation, into vocal articulation of Dhrupad, the song texts. The song texts are very rich. We have a rich repertory, evoking different gods and goddesses. They talk about the music itself, the philosophy. The song texts give us, talk about the nature. We have some different seasons are, sun, the spring, the rain, the winter. So everything is there in the music. We have song texts that evoke humanity also. So nature, man and God, these are the three broad themes of the Dhrupad lyrics. So Dhrupad is a lyrical tradition, Dhrupad is a musical tradition, Dhrupad is an ideology, Dhrupad is a philosophy, and Dhrupad is also I say, a mystical realization. Transcending all this, finally, you come to know music per se, sound per se. So that uniqueness is a mystical tradition. That is why, if you see the Indian traditions, I always say it is the Tapovan. This music grew in the Tapovan. Do you know about the Tapovan? It's the forest school. See, the seers lived in the forests, and the disciples came at the feet of the seers, and years of practice and meditation. So the concept of forest school, we are losing this concept. to be with the Guru all the time. In fact, that is the false school, to be with the Guru in nature. Because it is something pure, something sublime, something profound. So I always say it's a profound tradition. And then it came into the temples. There was a deviation. It became ritualistic. So that is how it started to deviate. Deviation for good, there is always a good deviation. So then it became a temple tradition. More deviation into the courts, the darbar. And it became secular for entertainment. And now, not deviation, degenerating into the market. That's the worst that we are all encountering. That's the encountering of the worst possible venture. We are all happy about it because we are getting a lot in return. But this music is not for something that I get in return. It is nourishing your soul all the time. Of course, we need something for survival. Every tradition has to survive, has to live. So I have seen my gurus, how much they have struggled. I have seen the days of struggle of my gurus. They lost the patronage, the royal patronage. At that point in the 60s, early 60s, in the late 50s, I was a young boy, and I have seen how our gurus have sacrificed for the sake of art. They have not compromised with the tradition. Today, very easily the new generation is compromising. And they just don't care because it's the career that's important. It's the name that is important. It's the glamour that's important. Not just the music that you're striving for. I have had all this in my life for the last 40 years, but I have never compromised. I have seen the ups and downs, but my guru is to always say, believe in the Shantas. Keep yourself calm. Keep yourself steady. Don't deviate. If you have to deviate, add something to the tradition. Create something novel. That is very good. But not at the cost of the tradition. Not breaking it up. Breaking away from that. So, this is what I learned from Dhrupad. And now, when you hear a Dhrupad performance, what happens? What do you hear? Again, a bit of, I'd like to tell you a story. So the first part of the journey is just delving into pure sound. We call it the alap. Alap is, in Sanskrit, alap means to introduce. When two persons meet, we introduce each other. I met, you are Mahesh, isn't it? I met just this morning. So we had an alap. We say Bengali alap. Alap is a very common word that when we introduce each other, we say alap. So it was a dialogue between us and alap, Mahesh and me. So that's how you start to improvise the raga. The raga is a system again, not just a system. It is a system, it is a character, it is a mood, it is a scale, it is a mode, what not. It is a complete expression of sound. I always say raga is not just a scale that you are playing with it. It is, my Guruji used to say, it is, you are having a dialogue with the raga. Just as we have, we pray to God. So the devotee and the God is a dialogue. And you can enjoy it in whatever way you want. The raga could be the God, it could be your lover, it could be a friend, So it is something very beautiful, this relationship with the raga. So we take a raga and we explore. It starts very slowly. You'll notice when I sing, I'll have no poetry, only sacred sounds, sacred syllables. Hari Om Narayana Taranatarana Ananta Hari. In fact, this is the Vishnu mantra, the esoteric mantra of the Kali Yuga. This Yuga we are living with all the evils. Kali Yuga is supposed to be really the Tamas Yuga, really black. And so this mantra can save you, the Vishnu mantra, chanting of the mantra. And so when you do a Dhrupad alap, the entire alap is with these sacred syllables that are broken up. Hari becomes Ri, Narayan becomes Na, Om becomes Noom. They are beautiful. In fact, if you go into the language, the Sanskrit language, every syllable is sacred and unique. It carries much meaning. You don't have to, meaning doesn't mean that you have to put it linguistically. Also just phonetically or phonologically, it is, every sound, every syllable is very meaningful. So that is what I have experienced when I started to sing Dhrupad, that how every sound carries so much meaning. Every syllable, every sound. And my guru used to always say that when you are singing or playing, you have to notice not just the notes, you have to notice what is happening around the note, mind you, and between the notes. And this is something very, very unique in the Indian tradition. It is not cluster of sounds, but what happens between the sounds, the hidden sounds, the subtle sounds, and around the note with all the microtone tonalities that come. And they are so important because the same, say the lower ga will vary in Rag Darbari, will vary in Rag Malkons. The note is the same, but still it is different. The intonation is different, the meaning is different, the rasa is different, the aesthetic beauty is different. So that is something very, very unique in the Dhrupad tradition, that the subtlest sounds are taken care of. And it has a tradition, it has an objectivity. It is not just something subjective that I start to explore with no system. It has a solid system, and our gurus have been constantly nurturing us. Look, this is what you have to get. This is important. So there is an objectivity in every sound, and then when you are singing it, it is from your heart. So then it is yours. So this is the uniqueness of Dhrupad, that the alap starts very slowly. You have the second part where there is a regular pulse, the jor. Also beautiful because then you start to feel the rhythm also. And the rhythmic variations are infinite. So that's the reason why I chose this composition, of the blues and jazz. Because we don't have to say blues and jazz. We already have a system of improvisation, so rich. And in fact, the jazz musicians are influenced by Dhrupad and Indian music because of this art of improvisation, both melodic and rhythmic. And because we can create so many different rhythms every moment. So that is the jor, and then at the end you have rapid articulations, movements, the chala. That's also very beautiful. And all this goes into a system. We call it the Meru Khandalap in the Daga tradition from which I come from. And there are 10 finesses, 10 characteristics that are very well defined to explain how we move through the notes. It's a whole system, and it took me 12 years to understand with my guru. And another 30 years now to experience it. And still I find the more I do it, the more I feel very small. That's again the beauty, the vastness of Indian music and Indian sounds, Indian rhythm, that you can never say, well, here I am, this is the ultimate. There is no full stop. Why there is no full stop? Because again, my guru is to say, any sound is akhanda. Akhanda is unbroken. So you have to learn much from silence. And you'll notice that when I do the alap, how silence plays a very important role. And today's world is forgetting silence. We really don't want to hear silence. Hear silence, mind you. I'm not saying rest. I'm saying hearing silence. That is the anahata. And that is what the yogis have searched. And they are searching all the time. So I feel that is more intense than the sound itself. And if you start to hear the silence, you will notice how you will calm down gradually. And now the postmodernists talk about minimalism. But I say we have minimalism for the last 3,000 years. Our Upanishads have given us the formula, the secret. You don't have to meta-theorize to say minimalism. It's just talking meta-theories. We don't need to talk meta-theories because we can experience it. The minimalism, when you hear a tantra, all the overtones emerging from one sound. That is minimalism. So, you see, this is my journey to Dhrupad. I have learnt much. I've learnt much from the West also, through my interactions. Even trying to understand myself better. And also to realize where our traditions stand. When I came to the West, I learnt much from the West. Because it gave me that vision, that dimension to understand that where we are different and where we are one again also. This search that also we are one and we are forgetting this oneness. So Alap Jojhala, that's the first part of the Dhrupad performance. The second part will be, in fact, it's the pakaj. That's accompaniment, that's the traditional instrument. But they encountered, couldn't invite a pakaj player, so Shen is kind enough to give me the tabla support. I'm grateful to him. So there you have an encounter with the Dhrupad song text. So that is Dhruva Pada in Sanskrit. And Dhrupad is the diminutive of Dhruva Pada. Dhruva is the goal. Dhruva is also the refrain technically. The first line of the song comes again and again. I come to the sum, I come to the point of reference. So that is my Dhruva. That is my refrain. So that is the specific meaning of Dhruva. And Dhruva is also the North Star in India. So when the ship gets lost in the sea, it's the North Star that can guide you, at least give you a sense of direction where you are, where you are heading for. So Dhruva is very, very important. And Pada is the song text, the lyrics. So that is the meaning, etymology of Dhrupad. The song text that we sing. And Dhrupad is, of course, a genre also, the entire musical system, with the Alap and Dhrupad. So that's it, that's what you're going to hear. And I think not much of talking. I can go on all morning and all evening.
Before we start, before we start, yes. I think it's a bit cold, so maybe anyone like a blanket?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get some blankets out.
Is it that cold?
I'm feeling quite cold, so I'm going to get my shawl.
That's similar weather.
So I hope this introduction will help you. Don't worry what. Just try to feel the sound and enjoy the journey. I think that will give you all the answer inside us. Talking is only an analysis. Something very superficial. This is a beautiful morning raga, Bilas Khanitori. In fact, you must have heard of the legendary Tansen, who was a great Dhrupad singer at the court of Akbar. Tansen, an all-time great Dhrupad. He was the jewel of the court of Akbar. So his son was Bilas Khan. So this rag is his creation. And it's called Bilas Khanitori. Re Narayana Hari Om Ananta Hari Taranati Tarana Re ra ra na te Creation is happening. See the universe being created. It's very easy to come down from the divine to the human and then to the market. syllables. Now I break it. The system of Jor and Jhala emerges from that. I still go back to 3,000 years. This was called Nirgita. It was sung in the Gandharva. It's all the same. That's going back to the Vedas. It's not just my voice, my whole being. It's total involvement. I need a good jazz musician to accompany me. I can go on for hours. If you analyze this, it's very difficult. It will take a few months to analyze one phrase. I did that in London, trying to transcribe. I learned all this accompanying my guru, Ustad Zia Fariduddin Dagar. So he did all this so beautifully. I learned much accompanying him for the last 30 years. These embellishments are very that's the Rudravina. It's another aspect, very tranquil. The composition is also of Vilas Khan, evoking Hari Vishnu. composition, Sultan. It's a beautiful composition, Sufi composition of Tansen. It's almost noon time, so I'm choosing Vrindavani Sari. It's a beautiful rag. You don't get to hear all these ragas because most of the concerts are in the evening. And the afternoon, rarely, even in India, we find a suitable time. So this is a complete Dhrupad in 4 parts of Tansen. तुम रब तुम साहेब 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 तुम ही करतार तुम ही करतार घट घट पूरन जल थल भर भार तुम तुम्हारा